Hi, Tim Sells here. In this video, I'm going to be going backwards a little bit because I've talked to you in a couple of last videos about 1099 versus W-2 income. And I thought that the best thing that I could do to show you and kind of give you my knowledge on this is to actually interview my accountant named Courtney Epps. All right, that would be the best thing that I could do for you because she talks about two tax systems in America. One steals wealth and the other one provides wealth. And that's very germane right now because there are people complaining about the wealth gap. Well, let's call it, they're talking about the wealth gap. It's not a wealth gap. It's a knowledge gap. All right, I am so honored to have Courtney Epps on to interview her because she has such a wealth of knowledge. I've got to give you a little bit of a story about how I came to know this girl, okay? And so I'm at an event. I'm one of the speakers. I'm sitting over at the speaker table, and there were people coming up and, like doing pictures and selfies and stuff like that. And so she got introduced. I didn't really fully hear it. And she started talking. And I listened a little bit and I was like, I got to hear this. And I get up and I leave the speaker. I walk out as an attendee and I'm watching. And I'm leaning up against this like pole that's in the room, like a main center pole. And I was like, this is unbelievable. And so I just ran up to her afterwards and I said, I have to interview you. I've never heard anything like this in 32 years. And so can I have the honor of interviewing? So thank you for accepting my invitation to come on and share with my audience what you know, your knowledge.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for having me.
So Courtney Epps is an accountant. She's my accountant now because right after that story, right after that occurrence that I just told you about, I called my wife and I said, babe, you got to get this book. And so she downloaded the book and she read it. And by the time I landed, she was like, okay, so we're hiring her, we're this and so forth. And so I'm going to read something from her book, okay? She says 46% of Americans did not have an extra $400 to their name, all right? And so that's the past tense having to do with COVID-19 or before COVID-19. And 69% of Americans did not have an extra $1,000. To make matters worse, 48% of U.S. families headed by someone 55 or older have zero retirement savings. How are people supposed to get ahead? All right, so I'm going to start with that question, Courtney. How are people supposed to get ahead today?
So I think the first step, and thank you so much for having me on, Tim. I think you're amazing. And honestly, that same day, I was like, man, me and him could get along so well because you were throwing out statistics and it was making me so happy. I wasn't even in network marketing. And I'm like, this is great. This is amazing. If I had known that information when I was in network marketing, I actually probably wouldn't be here today talking to you about taxes. So, because network marketing is a lot more fun. You know, people tell me all the time, they're like, you know, network marketing is hard. And I'm like, come work at my accounting practice for at least 2 weeks and you will go right back to working in network marketing.
I couldn't do it.
Exactly. So, you know, one of the things most people don't understand that there's two tax systems in our country. And I think we start there. And there's a tax system that was created to steal your wealth away. And most people believe that there's a tax system for the rich and one for the poor. The thing is there's not one for the rich and for the poor. There's one that was created to steal wealth. That is the W-2 employee tax system. So if you're a salaried employee, if you work for someone else, I'm not knocking that at all, but I want you to understand that you will pay more in taxes, hands down, than any business owner. And so the second tax system was created to provide wealth for you. So that second tax system is the business owner tax system. And the reason why, you know, so many people may think, well, this is not fair. The reason why is because we, as business owners, create economy. We're constantly out growing our business so that we could then spend more money back in our business. And then Congress hopes that one day we'll hire employees and we'll take people off of the unemployment And then we'll also be able to end up paying more taxes because we'll make more money. But at the end of the day, we will not pay the lion's share of the taxes. That gets shifted off to the employees. And as an employee, you will pay more in your lifetime on taxes than food, clothing, housing, and transportation combined. And so when
Whoa. Hang on a sec. What did you say?
so
You got to repeat that.
as a W-2 employee, you will pay more in taxes in your lifetime than you will on food, clothing, housing, and transportation combined.
Okay. All right.
So,
like that's a lot in taxes.
yes.
So, wow.
Robert Kiyosaki considers taxes, money that you make as a W-2 employee. He says that in his book, it's 50% tax, meaning that you are left over with roughly half of the amount of money that you bring in after you add up property taxes and real estate taxes, income taxes. You've got state, federal taxes, self-employment taxes, all of these add up. And if you're not self-employed, you've got FICA taxes. So all of these add up to amount to more than anything else that you'll spend your money on. And so many people have no comprehension of how to free up money. And so one of the statistics, and I'll share this with you, this is what actually transformed my entire accounting practice, because I was a fractional CFO for a handful of companies, and that was really the route that I wanted to take. I wanted to help businesses take the road less stupid. And I'm really good at that.
The road less stupid.
Yes, because I have gone down some really stupid paths, and it has cost me a lot of time and effort and really affected my mindset along the way. So I wanted to be able to help other businesses. And when I heard these statistics by Grant Cardone, of all people, I was on my way to Tampa, Florida. It was 2 years ago, last month. And the statistics were that the average household in America made $60,000 a year. They paid $14,000 in taxes, leaving them with a take home of $46,000 a year. And the problem with that is that the cost of living in America is $53,000 a year on average. So that means that the average household in America is going in debt $7,000 a year to work, 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, take 2 weeks paid vacation, and they don't even realize it. And so if you haven't been paying attention, I will tell you that when I started writing the book, the last book that I just published a couple weeks ago, the national debt per household, I think at the time, was $67,000, which means for every man, woman, and child is $67,000 on average. Well, that has gone up to over $80,000 now. And so it's only getting worse. And, you know, the only way to fix the problem is, how do we fix the issue? Well, we have to decrease taxes. So when I heard those statistics, I realized at that point in time, and it had been years since I'd even thought about network marketing, because I'd been out of network marketing. And the funny thing is while I was in network marketing, I was doing tax returns for people in the industry, and I was comparing for them where they would have been, because I wanted people to see it wasn't just about making money. It was also about keeping more of your money. So I was showing them where they were every year based upon with the company that they were with, whether they were successful or not, and the tax, what they were going to pay in taxes or what they were going to receive, compared to what they would have been had they not been in that network marketing company. And I found that on average, I could save someone $4,000 to $8,000 a year in taxes minimum.
Okay. So, hang on just a second. All right. You just really fired me up with that statement right there. You may or may not, depending upon what you listen to, what you watch, and things like that, that people say most people fail in network marketing, or few succeed in network marketing. And you made a comment just now, okay? You said whether they're successful or not. Okay, so is it impossible for someone to fail in network marketing? And if so, how so?
To me, there's no way that you can fail in network marketing until you quit. And the reason why is because you're now in the tax system that was created to provide wealth for you. So while you're learning to become a business owner, and I will tell you this much, I spend $85,000 a year to be a platinum partner with Tony Robbins to learn the skills and the ability to go the next level. I don't learn. There's no one that I can work with, no other accounting firm that I can call and say, hey, can you help me get to the next level? Can I call Deloitte & Touche today and PricewaterhouseCoopers and say, you know what? I'm looking to be the same size as you in the next 12 months. Could you please tell me how you got there? That doesn't happen. So not only are you getting the skills that you need in order to become a business owner at a very low price, if anything, because you have people who are trying to help you get to where they've gotten because they financially benefit from you, which is the smartest thing that a network marketing company could possibly do. I'm trying to do that for my staff every single day. Some of them aren't driven by money, which is really weird, and they're not driven necessarily by competition, but they love being part of something bigger. And that's one of the things that I love about network marketing. All of my friends are in network marketing. And the reason why is they're like-minded individuals. They're looking to go somewhere in life. They're not just stuck right where they are. So I get to hang around people that I love, that are going in the same direction as me, which obviously is going to force me to be better. I get the business skills that I need in order to be successful. And it costs me typically a couple $100 to get started. And if I fail, I'm still got product or the service that I'm involved in, and I'm saving money in taxes. Like there is no downside to being involved in network marketing. And so I just got to tell you this one thing. So I had a guy call me, and he's like, my wife, she is losing money in the company that she's in, and I think it's stupid that she's in this network marketing company. And so I looked at his tax return, and I'm like, no, what you need to do is you need to thank your wife. I said, because one, she was going to buy those products anyway. Two, the fact that she's in a network marketing business, now the products that she's buying becomes a tax deduction on top of meals, mileage, cell phone, internet, business use of home, hiring your kids, all these other things. And I said, and she's not losing money. I said, she's being smart about it, because on paper, it looks like she lost money. But at the end of the day, she made money and didn't have to pay taxes on it, because she was able to use your living expenses and redirect those into business expenses. So what she did, in essence, is allow you to keep more of your hard-earned money, and she didn't pay any taxes on her income. I think that's probably the smartest thing that she could ever possibly done for herself and for her family.
Okay, I got to break this down for everybody, all right? You probably got it, but I just have to make sure, because this is one of those things that came out of her mouth when I was leaning up against that pole, and I was like, why isn't everybody standing up cheering in here? Like I was back there clapping and I was the only one, that weird guy. Okay, so let me break this down. Okay, so let's say that I have a person, and I'm just going to use my water bottle as a holder here, okay? And this person's name is Aaron. Okay? And he gets W-2 income as an employee. And his wife over here, joins a network marketing business. And let's say she spent, for the year, $2,000 on products. She needed to hire somebody in order to do some Facebook ads. She went to 4 training events for the year. In other words, she flew to see training events and things like that. How did she not lose money?
So all of the money that she spent, right? She now gets to offset against any income that she has. So it could be her own W-2 income. It could be her spouse's W-2 income. It could be if you.
Okay, so that's Aaron.
That's right.
So Aaron, the government just is going to take out 35, 40%, is that correct, of taxes right out of his paycheck that he never saw, right? And so what you're saying is his wife, Leslie, is able to write off some of her losses against what he would have paid to the government.
Yes.
To the IRS.
It's even more, because when you become a home-based business owner today, you don't get a new house So you don't have an extra expense for that. You don't get a new cell phone. You don't get internet. You already had a laptop that you can now write off. You already maybe have an office that you could potentially write off for business use of your home. You already have children who are expensive. Now you can hire them to work for you and do the things that you maybe can't get them to do anyway, and you make them more responsible. So all of these things, like,
You drop these things that are just so awesome, like you couldn't get them to do anyway. Okay, so let me make you a deal. If you
exactly, and same thing like travel. So now that you're in a home-based business, it's not just the things that you're spending for that company that you're involved in. So maybe that's a couple $1,000, but you now have another $15,000 or $20,000 worth of living expenses that yesterday, when you were just a W-2 employee, you couldn't take advantage of. And now you can
couldn't write it off.
those. Right.
You couldn't write it off.
Those off. Right.
Okay.
So, and so many people, even like medical bills and medical insurance, people think that they're getting some sort of benefit from that. 96% of Americans are getting no benefit from charitable contributions, from medical bills, medical insurance, from property taxes. And so many people don't understand that itemized deductions have nothing to do with business expenses. So we want to take what you were writing off for itemized deductions and be able to push those into business expenses so you can take those dollar for dollar. So what I typically find is that if you start a home-based business, set aside any money you spend on that home-based business, you're going to have between $15,000 and $20,000 worth of deductions, business expenses that you can write off against any other income that you have. And that's not you spending extra money to grow your business. That's your meals, mileage, cell phone, internet, business use of home. Because I like Tim, right? So let's just say, let me give you for instance, I love Tim. I want to see Tim. I actually tried to see Tim when I was in Utah, and we could not, me, Laura, or Tim could not get it straight. So I was there with Operation Underground Railroad a couple months ago. And so what ended up happening, so I pick up the phone and I call Tim and I say, you know what, Tim, I want to share with you something I'm super passionate about. I'm going to come see you. And in this situation, I get in my car, drive to the airport, 58 cents a mile that I can write off, or I can write off my actual expenses in my car. Now I get to the airport, I get on a plane, I fly to Tim because I know Tim, if Tim gets it, like everybody's going to get it. So I want to fly to Tim and I can pay, that flight is 100% tax deductible. And I sit down at a restaurant or Starbucks or wherever you can sit in Utah right now. And I tell Tim what I'm doing. And Tim may say, you know what, Courtney, I love this. Like, I'm all about it. And that's what we want to hear, right? Or Tim may say, you know what, Courtney, I love the product or service, but I'm not interested in making any money. And if you really think about that, does it make any logical sense that somebody would even say that? But irrelevant. Okay. Or Tim may say, you know what, Courtney, I think you're going straight to hell or jail. And then I'm going to look at Tim like Tim just had two heads pop out of one. And I'm going to say, look, Tim, I don't think you understand. Like, I was just trying to show you a way that not only you could buy products and services at a better price, a way that you could potentially make some extra money if you wanted to, but you didn't have to, and a way that you could save $4,000 to $8,000 a year in your taxes. And Tim's going to look at me like I'm crazy. And I'm going to explain to Tim, you know, Tim, all I have to do is I'm going to get back. At one, I write off 50% of my meal. Were you able to do that? Because you're a W-2 employee. No. Okay, so I'm going to get back in a car, an Uber, and ride back to the airport. And that's a tax deduction, which a W-2 employee can't write off. And then I'm going to get back on my airplane. Now, granted, 2 days before I came in, I flew in and I enjoyed myself, and I could have brought one of my children with me because they work for me, and we could have done all kinds of things together. And the fact is that I flew in to see Tim, but I'm still going to have fun along the way. And then I get back on the flight and I fly back home, and I got to write that off. And then I get back in my car, that was a write off. And then when I get to my house, I get to write off a portion of my home as business use of my home because I work in my home. And then I get to write off a portion of my internet because I needed it to run my business. I get to write off my cell phone because I needed to call you on it to have a conversation with you. and, to message people on social media if you don't like to talk to people, or text them, whatever. And then on top of that, guess what? My swimming pool. So when I get home, I'm going to go get my swimming pool, which is also a tax deduction. And the reason why it is because it's a fringe benefit. Because I have staff who work for me, including my children, and because they're my employees and I allow them to swim in my swimming pool, that is 100% tax deduction as a fringe benefit. I also have an athletic facility that's 100% tax deductible as well. And so I just showed you a way, one, my medical bills, medical insurance, all these things can become a tax deduction by being a business owner, and none of those were extra expenses. So now I'm saving more money, and I'm able to have more in my life. I'm able to have more, live more, and then give more. And that's all I wanted for you. So I don't understand why you didn't get it, but
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at, Tim.
Well, if you had given me that pitch, I would have said, I'm all in. Okay.
Exactly.
Almost irregardless of what you presented me in the network marketing piece of it, just that understanding. I'm going to spin it another way. Okay. So let's suppose that we have Aaron, he makes $100,000 a year. Leslie, she works as a mom, and that's her full-time thing. Okay. She joins a network marketing business. Okay. So Aaron makes $100,000. And based upon what you said, I think you said, correct me if I'm wrong, that he would be able to write off about $40,000.
What he would and she would.
She would, off of his income.
And it would go against their income if they filed married filing jointly.
Okay.
Yes.
So I do a lot of investments. All right. So when you make money, you have to figure out where to put this stuff. And a bank is not a good place to put it. And so I like investments. And so if somebody were to come to me and say, Tim, I have an investment where you can make 40% return on your money, I would be like, is that legal? Right? Like, in other words, but what you're saying, what I hear is it isn't loss, it's gain, right? And I know it's not, we're not talking about investments here. We're not talking about that. But in other words, there's a friend of mine who says, if you get $50,000 from here or get it from here, do you care which one it came from? No, I don't, right? And so all you're talking about is redirecting the expenses that you already have and wrap it around your home-based business. Now, I have a question.
More money.
Huh?
Then you're keeping more of
You're keeping more.
And that's what it's all about. It's not
That's
about
right.
how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. And so that $4,000 to $8,000 a year in tax savings, you think about how much money you had to make in order to bring home $4,000 to $8,000 a year. Is typically between $7,000 and $13,000 a year. So you'd have to make an additional $3.50 an hour to $6.50 an hour for every hour that you work, 2,000 hours a year, right? Which is on average, in order to be equivalent to the savings of having a home-based business and attempting to earn an income.
Incredible. Okay, so now what would be, is there any advantage to a network marketing business as compared to any business? So if Leslie owned a hair salon, would that be any different than if she were in a network marketing business? Like, how does that work?
So the biggest thing, I mean, when you're talking traditional business, there is so much work that has to go involved in it. So like with me, with my accounting practice, I have a 6,000 square foot facility. I have 25 employees and we're growing every single day. So I have a lot of things that I have to spend a lot of money on. And then on top of that, when you're dealing with a traditional business, you have to come up with your own marketing plan. You have to hire people and you have to actually pay them. Instead of in network marketing, you can actually bring on people that are on the same path as you and help them grow, and then they make you money. It's the smartest thing ever. I haven't been able to get my staff on board with the with the network marketing concept. Like, I'll teach you and you make me money, and then I don't know. But it
No,
was
you train your best competition. That's the problem that you have, right? You can't offer them the same opportunity that you have. In other words, like, right? And so the better you train them, the more they break away and become your competitor, right? Like that's, you train your competition. You don't show this video to them.
exactly. And I mean, and this is what I drill into their heads every single day, because we are working on trying to create a way that the ones who actually want to become business owners, I want them to be able to break away and be still a part of OTB Tax. And
Good.
so, because I think everybody should have their own home-based business. I really, truly believe that. But as far as, helping people understand this path and why this all works, one, I mean, as a business owner, we take all of the risk, right? So we're trying to figure out the accounting, we're trying to figure out the marketing, we're trying to figure out the inventory, we're trying to figure out the products, just what products are we going to sell. And so I've been in the retail space before, and I've also been in the wholesale space before, and man, those are not a good place to be when you have to own the inventory and hope that you're going to sell it. So what I love about the network marketing space is that you can spend a couple $100. All the research is done for you. All the marketing materials are done for you. You've got the compensation plan. Everything is laid out for you very easily. All you have to do is go share that with people and then share the opportunity with people. It's just a win-win situation. Whereas, and there's no overhead. Like, I lost a business 10 years ago. I worked my butt off. So I put in 3.5 years of my life into that business. And I was $250,000 in debt when I sold it. The guy I sold it to stopped paying me after 4 months, and I couldn't afford to file bankruptcy. I had to voluntarily withdraw my bankruptcy because the bankruptcy court told me I couldn't afford the monthly payment for a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And I'm like, but my
Wow.
payments are $9,000 a month. Like, I can afford the $1,400. And they're like, no, you can't, because you can't prove that you can get an income, because I had a non-compete and in the state of South Carolina for 5 years. And that's how I ended up getting involved in network marketing. So you can work really, really hard on a business. And the reason why I put it up for sale, it wasn't that I didn't love it. It was I was working 100 hours a week, was going through a custody battle, and I was about $2,000 a month in cash flow short. And I didn't want to fire anybody. And if I fired somebody, I would have to work more. And I didn't know what to do. And so I was in this vicious cycle that I couldn't get out of. And so you can fail at a lot of things. I can't see how you could ever fail in the network marketing industry until the day you decide, I quit. Because now you're either, and I used to tell my, when I was in network marketing, I would call people and I'm like, look, are you going to pay your $100 this month? And they're like, well, I'm thinking about it. Okay, well, that's fine. If you don't pay your $100 this month, then you can just go ahead and set aside $400 to give it to the IRS. Or you can pay $100 on you. I mean, because the minute you decide you're not in business anymore, now you owe $400 more a month minimum to the IRS. So which one do you want? Do you want to focus on you, or you want to focus on giving money to the IRS? And they're like, I guess I'll call and make my payment.
Wow. You have an argument that is irrefutable. Okay, I have to know, is there any extra benefit that you can see from a network marketer compared to a real estate agent who sometimes works from home?
And so, and I can do this from experience. So, as a real estate agent or even as an accountant, say I built my accounting practice back up from home. And so I was able to work from home, have an office there. Now I have an office here in about 2 miles away. So one of the benefits is that commuting miles. So commuting miles are miles that you go from your home to your office and back. Well, if your home office is at your home instead of away, then you get to write off the commuting miles. So there is no commuting miles, is what I'm trying to say. The other part is just like I talked about earlier, is that swimming pool, right? So the swimming pool is on my property. And because I work from my home, and my employees, some of my employees work from my home, and I allow them to swim in my swimming pool because that pool is on that property, the same property that they work from, that becomes 100% tax deductible. Same thing works for an athletic facility. So just throwing that out there. If you guys want, are looking for that, you can hire your spouse or you can hire your children, and you can pay them $100 a month if you wanted to, and offer them that as a fringe benefit. And by doing so, now that becomes a tax deduction for you.
You're giving my my videographer a lot of he's going to want me to build a swimming pool now.
Exactly. So commuting miles is one, business use of your home is another. So those are two huge motivators. There's lots of other things that become involved, like the internet at your home. A portion of that can be a tax deduction. A portion of your utilities, a portion of your property taxes, your insurance, you can depreciate the house. So all of those are included in business use of home.
Okay, so are they the same as real estate, or is there some better benefits in network marketing, or no?
So as far as traditional business, like going to a traditional location as opposed to being at home, real estate and there's home-based business across the board. The only great benefit that I love about network marketing is the ability to have products and services that you love anyway that you're now able to take as far as a tax deduction. One thing's cool for me as an accountant, because I service the entire network marketing industry. It's like all the products that I buy, if I buy products from you, well, that's a tax deduction for me because I'm attempting to get your income.
Let me write that down.
Right? Exactly. So anybody you want to work with, it's like, yep, well, you need to work with me. You need to buy my products and services.
That is awesome. Okay, so you listed, and my wife constantly brings them up. You listed a lot of perks that you get in network marketing, and you probably have mentioned them, but I want to make sure that I've asked you the question just to ensure that my wife knew something that I didn't know in your book. Okay, do you have any other perks that you haven't mentioned already?
To me, I will tell you that the number one reason to be in network marketing is the skills that you learn from people that are not even charging you. And I think, just in the last couple of weeks, we've hired a new CMO, a marketing company. We've hired all these people, and you just hope that they're going to work out and they're going to teach you something that you didn't know. And a lot of the things that we have to do in business, in traditional business, you guys don't have to deal with. Even going and being a part of, like, say, Business Mastery with Tony Robbins, that was a $10,000 event. Half the stuff at that event, you don't have to worry about inventory typically. You don't have to worry about employees. You don't have to worry about the things that traditional business does, and overhead for that matter. There's not a lot of overhead that's involved. But what I love and what changed everything for me is that, and I think people lose sight of this, is that not everybody gets involved in network marketing to make a lot of money. They get involved for different reasons. And I got involved in network marketing. I didn't have any money. My parents actually paid for me to join. And I put 900 people in a company in 14 months and hit I hit the top 1% in that company. I put in like 178 people in 6 weeks. I needed something. I was trying to make some extra money, and I was broken at that point. I was scared to death to become a professional again. I was scared to make a wrong decision. And let's face it, like I spent 3.5 years of my life, 100 hours a week away from my family and my 3 children. And I was guilty, and I felt like a failure. And so what network marketing did for me is it allowed me to get around people that believed in me. And slowly but surely, although I didn't even realize I was doing it, I didn't want to be an accountant. Like, it wasn't, I wanted to go out and talk to people. I just like to run my mouth. If you haven't already figured that out yet, I just want to talk. But I have such a superpower in taxes, not because I learned it in school, but because I've ran myself in the dirt a couple times in business. I have learned the good and the bad and the ugly. I've learned what tax deductions are. I was forced to have a home-based business because I couldn't afford to have a traditional business. Granted, best thing that ever happened to me. I'm trying my best to get back home so I can work and be with my children every single day instead of being in an office. But I didn't have the ability or the mindset to get to where I needed to be by myself. And so that's where I learned about personal growth and development. And that's where I learned about Tony Robbins. And I showed up to a Tony Robbins event, and my life completely changed back in 2017. So I was able to shift only because of the personal growth and development. And people can believe in you all day long, but until you believe in you, you're not going anywhere. And that's one of the things that I was able to learn. People believed in me. I believed in the products. I believed in the company. I believed in the network marketing industry, but I didn't believe in me. And so I was able to gain that and understand personal growth and development in a way that I never would have figured that out. And I was able to build my entire accounting practice back up with zero marketing, zero advertising. And in 2013, I made $9,090 in accounting that year. That was the year before network marketing came into my life. And we just hit $2 million a year in the last 12 months. And we're on pace in the next 12 months. We will hit $20 million a year in sales. So I've learned the skills that I need to be successful through network marketing.
So what I hear is that you just went through an entire life experience, and that you look back and you say, what created that trajectory? And the trajectory was that at that time you didn't have the picture that you could succeed. You were fearful and things like that. And so you got on the path of believing in yourself. Okay. And I think that is so important. When I was I can't say similar trajectory. And the issue is that in the military, I had always been cut down by people who were not in the military. And they would say, what, you couldn't get a real job and so you had to go in the military? Is it that you couldn't get a real job or you couldn't get in college? Which one was it for you? Stuff like that. And it degrades you, even though I honestly went into the military to serve my country. Really, that was my whole family heritage. And so that's why I went in. And so I remember I went up, I was at an Tony Robbins event, and he had a break, and I saw him and I darted up to him and I said, I have a bit of a challenge, and I was stuttering all over the place, and he, I said, I kind of feel as though that because I didn't go to college that I'm stuttering all over the place, and he goes, spit it out, and I go, well, I don't feel as though that I can be successful because I didn't get a degree, and he goes, well, what have you done? What have you been doing? I said, well, I was in the military and special operations, and then I got into a network marketing company. And he said, and how are you doing there? And I said, well, I made $60,000 last month. And he goes, hits me on the side of the arms, and he goes, you got a PhD in results. Get out of here. He just turns around, walks away. And it was that little moment for me where I was like, oh my gosh, I don't actually need a degree to succeed. And so it was one of those moments. And I go up at a conference, a convention or something like that. And there's a guy who I know is making $300,000 a month. And I can go up to him at an event and I can lean up against the wall. And I ask him questions and he answers my questions. All right, I'm going to pop over for a moment and I'm going to tell you some comments that I've seen. So somebody in, the trolls in the comment area, they'll go, yeah, somebody tried to pitch me on one of those. I said, get away from me, bug, or something like that, right? And you gotta, from my perspective, I have 57 millionaires on my team in 7 years, 5,401 who have earned $250,000 in just 7 years, okay? And so when I read that, I look at it and I'm like, wow, man, you really couldn't have missed it more. Somebody tried to pitch me on one of those things, right? You got somebody who's made millions and millions of dollars, and you're not willing to accept advice. And man, my daddy used to have this whole thing about when you can no longer get advice, then you might as well grab a shovel and start digging your own grave, right? So you have anything else? Because as much as I enjoy this, I know there is a length of time that people can watch videos. And so I just want to give you one more opportunity. Is there anything else that you want to add to this? You've done an incredible job of getting the message that I really wanted out there. And anything else?
I just think the biggest thing, guys, is that I get to see this from the outside. I am not in network marketing. I'm not in any company. Nobody pays me to even speak because I made it that is my decision, that I want to help people and I want to spread my message. So my purpose in life is to help more people have more so that they can live more, they can give more, then I can feed more children, I can free more children from sex trafficking, and I can provide more safe drinking water. So that's what I was put on this earth to do, and that's what I focus on every single day. And if it wasn't for the network marketing industry getting me back involved and allowing me, because I'll tell you, I wasn't even doing taxes at that point. I mean, you saw it was $9,000 a year. That's barely doing a handful of tax returns during tax season. I was lost, and I was really good at it, but I was lost. I was scared. And so I did a tax return for someone in the company. And, that was their way of getting me involved and being a part of what they were doing. And I did a tax return for someone, and I saved them $4,100 more than they'd ever gotten back before on their taxes. And one of them was a nurse, and the husband was an engineer. They never had enough money to go on vacation, and they hadn't been successful in this company at all. And they had enough deductions to be able to allow them $4,100 worth of money. And at the time it was a travel company, and they used the $4,100 to actually book a trip. And they went on that trip, and they came back, and they actually experienced the product. Because I think so many people, they get involved in something and they never experience the product or service and then want to go tell people about it. Well, that's crazy. So they finally experienced the product, and they ended up hitting the first rank in that company, which at the time was 30 left and 30 right. You had to have 60 people in the company in order to get to a point where you made residual income. And that was eye-opening for me, that I could truly help people. And that's what I want you to understand. No matter if you are good at selling, which it doesn't take being good at selling to be good at network marketing. You just have to have a heart, and you have to be willing to care enough for people to share with them information that could change their life forever. And not everybody's going to get involved in network marketing because they want to make $1 million. There's a lot of people that just want to get involved so they can be a part of something greater, a part of something bigger, to have positive people to hang around in their life. And if that's all you did was go out and share something to guarantee yourself tax savings, and it ended up allowing someone to have a relationship with someone so that they don't feel alone in this world, or it allowed them to be able to get their product for wholesale, or it allowed them to free up $4,000 to $8,000 a year so they can actually do something with their family that they want to do. Because let's face it, it's not working. The system today is not working. It's broken. We have got to do something different. People don't have enough money to live, much less ever think about retiring. Or you may, what you may do, you may potentially change your life forever, find a purpose that is greater than your problems, and go out and help other people do exactly the same thing, and have not only financial freedom for you and your family, but create a legacy of wealth and change the history of your family tree and hundreds or thousands of others, just like Tim is doing. So if you see this as this is a scam, or that this is not for you, I don't understand what you see. All I understand is that you must like paying taxes. And at the end of the day, you're not committed to changing and helping someone change their life, because what I see is helping people. That's all we're doing. We're sharing with someone how you can have a better life, how you can keep more of your money, how you can potentially make some extra money. And then along the way, it may just change everything in your life and you walk away from your plan B. Like my book is What's Your Plan B? Why you would be brain dead not to own a home-based business. And I truly believe that. So, I mean, that's my 2 cents worth. I mean, I think you need to find something you're passionate about. I think you need to start sharing that with people for the massive tax benefits, get good at it. And then from there, you now help change other people's lives. And if you don't do that, you're selfish.
Bingo. Awesome. Incredible. Really, really appreciated every bit of that. I heard it in your heart, you know, like you were speaking from your heart, and I could see that. And I've seen, you say that not everybody joins network marketing to make $1 million or something like that. And you'd be really, really surprised. I think maybe not you, but just the viewer. I literally got a bunch of my friends and said, back when I was in the military, and I said, hey, come to this meeting, and afterwards we'll go out and party. And so I remember one of the guys sitting next to me, and he was like looking around at all the girls and all beautiful girls, and he's like, I don't know where you're planning on taking us, but this place is just fine with me. In other words, what was like, I have met so many people who just wanted to be there instead of going out, let's say, to a nightclub or something like that, just to find a mate, right? I've seen it both female and male that do that. And so they join just to be a part of it. And then I've also seen people who say, you know what, I'm sick of TV. I'm sick of social media. I want to get out and actually meet real people. That kind of thing. So you're right. I see it all the time. And it's wrong to think that, oh, that person really wants to make $1 million. And so therefore I'm going to drive them to do that, when that's not really even what they're there for. And so it's a very good point to find out what it is that the person is actually there for real. You know what I mean? And so that was awesome. And so I really thank you first for contributing to the Operation Underground Railroad. When my wife and I first saw that, several years ago, Tim Ballard was up on the stage and he was talking, and as soon as he commented about how much it cost for them to go and save a child, it was around $2,100 or $2,200, something like that. And for all their operations that they have to do, each child, it cost them that. Me and my wife simultaneously, just our heads just go and looked at each other and go, how many kids are we buying? Right? It was that quick about how many people we could save. And we went on auto delivery to buy a child, a couple of them. And so I can't thank you enough for that. And because it's getting the message out there that this goes on, and it's been hidden from in plain sight. And so I thank you for that. I thank you for your contribution to network marketing and telling people the truth about it. I really, really do. And for serving people that way. And, just from my own perspective, if you are in network marketing, I do recommend, I get nothing for this, I do recommend that you read her book. If you're not in network marketing, read her book. I believe that you will see that it's very, very difficult to lose money in network marketing. And if you're in network marketing and you're a leader, definitely get her book. Okay, I thought that I had hired the world's best accountants in the world because I thought I did. And so she still somehow is able to scrape a lot of change off the floor, if you will. And so I highly recommend her as an accountant for you. All right, so I appreciate you watching. And Courtney, I can't thank you enough for being on the call, and really appreciate you.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
All right, see you in the next video.